श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वसुदेवसुतम् देवम् कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णम् वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, last 2 weeks we have made a start with Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We have gone through the introduction given by Shankara in his Shankara Bhashyam. We have gone through the first chapter. We are in the second chapter now, the Sankhya Yoga. We completed up to sloka number 3. We are now on sloka number 4, which we started last time. We will continue with that explanation. Arjuna Uvacha Kasam Bhishmamaham Sankhye. No. I think sloka number 3 we have to continue. Yeah, okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Klaibyam Masmagama Partha Naitattvai Upapadyate Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam Tektottishta Parantapa. Hey Partha, this kind of klaibyam is napumsakatvam, unmanliness. It does not suit you. Na etat tvayi upapadyate. This does not suit you. You are a great warrior, man of great courage, known for great accomplishments on the battlefield. And now on the battlefield, right at the time when the battle is going to start, you have developed cold feet. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. Parantapa. You are a scorcher of foes, scorcher of enemies. Such a great warrior you are. For you to talk with klaibyam, with unmanly words, it doesn't suit you. So, this very mean, shudram, hridaya daurbalyam, weakness of the heart, tyaktva, leaving it, abandoning it, uttishta, get up. So he spoke only 2 slokas. Bhagavan has spoken only 2 slokas. In sloka number 2, he chided Arjuna and said, how did you suddenly develop this diffidence, which is anaryajushtam aswargyam akirtikaram. 3 points he made. Now he is going ahead further and says, this does not suit you at all. First he said, how did it happen? Now he says, it doesn't suit you. You should leave aside this weakness of the heart and get up and do your duty. Now, this is actually the essence of the Gita, the call of the Gita. The call of the Gita is, we will face difficult circumstances on earth during our lives. Human life on earth is not a bed of roses. Everyone knows that. It is only in Devaloka you will not have this kind of problems. Here it is a mixture of sukha and dukkha, life on earth. So there will be a continuous onslaught of problems and crises. So if on all such occasions you are going to lose heart, you cannot make a success of the worldly life, as well as you cannot prepare yourself for the life hereafter. Particularly if you are intending to advance on the spiritual path, you should not have weakness of heart. Because if you have weakness of heart, it means that you are not deriving the strength of the Atma, which is right within you, guiding your actions. Right residing in your heart, Atma is there, You should derive strength from Atma and face all the crises. That you are not doing. That is why he is saying Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of the heart. Because the very place where Atma is there, that place you have developed weakness instead of developing strength derived from Atma. So, this is the call of Gita to rise higher and higher on the path of spiritual advancement by deriving strength from our own Atma. So, Kathopanishad says very famously, Uttisthate Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhate Shurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Pathastat Kavayo Vadanti. It is addressed to all humanity. So, Upadesha for all humanity. It says, get up, wake up, Jagrata, because we are all sleeping. In fact, there is another shloka in the same chapter, Yanisha Sarva Bhutam. We are always in the night, we are always in darkness. So we have to wake up. Wake up to what? Wake up to our real Swarupa, which is Atma Swarupa, not our body, which is going to die anyway. So that is Jagrata. Uttisthate Jagrata. Prapya Varan Nibodhate. Prapya Varan. Go and approach great people, great gurus, and Nibodhate, attain jnana, Brahma jnana from them. But the path of Jnana Marga is not simple. Surasya Dhara, it is like the sharp edge of a sword. Sharp edge of a sword. Nishita, sharpened edge of the sword. If you have to walk on the sharp edge of a sword, how difficult it is. It is so difficult. Upanishad accepts this difficulty. Niratyaya, Duratyaya. It is very difficult to cross. How can you walk on the edge of a sword? Sharp edge of a sword. Durgam pathastat kavayo vadanti. Even wise people, kavaya, even they say, Durgam pathaha, it is a very difficult path. It is a very difficult path does not mean that you have to run away from that. You have to somehow make as much advancement as possible as is within your capacity. Everyone has got some capacity to advance on this path. Nobody can deny that. And this capacity will keep increasing the more you pray to Bhagavan and the more you make self-efforts. Prayer and self-efforts, both are needed. That is what the Upanishad is telling us. Nayamatma balahine nalabhyaha, another place. The Upanishad says, this Atma na balahinena labhyaha. It is not available to one with a weak heart. Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha. That is what he is indicating here. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam. So if you develop weakness in your heart, you cannot advance spiritually. Forget about comfort on this earth. Both you will lose. Now it is the turn for Arjuna to speak. Arjuna uvacha rasam bhishmamaham sankhe dronancha madhusudana vidubhi pratiyotsami ujarha varisudana. Harisudana is how he is addressing Krishna. He says, Harisudana means you are one who torments, tortures the enemies. Harisudana. That means you know how to fight a battle, how to torture the enemy. You are an expert in that. So for you, I don't have to inform you specially. So how can I fight with Bhishma and how can I fight with Drona? Sankhya in this war. Sankhyam. Sankhya is count, number count. Sankhyam is neutral. That is war. So in this battle, how can I fight? Katham Bhishmam Aham. How can I fight Bhishma? How can I fight Drona? Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami. How can I send my arrows in that war against them? How can I dispatch my arrows? Pujarha. Why I cannot do that? Because they are worthy of worship. They are my gurus. That is why he has singled out two people out of the entire lot. We saw a long list in the last chapter. of Maharathas. Now he is not naming all of them. He says these two. In fact, Kripacharya is also a very senior guru. He is included without being mentioned. So he said, Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, how can I kill them? They are worthy of worship. So here the problem is, as we are going to see later on, Arjuna identifies himself with his small ego, Shudram, small ego, and looks at his enemies as deserving of worship. Now, actually, what he should do, he should identify himself with the larger dharma which brought him to the battlefield, for which Pandavas have been standing right from the beginning. Right from the beginning of negotiations with Kauravas, Pandavas have stood for dharma. Now, Pandavas have taken a decision, including Yudhishthira, to fight this war, though they tried their best to avoid the war. So at the last minute, if you identify yourself with your small ego and then say, how can I kill them? That is klaibyam, that is napumsakatvam, unmanliness. That is why he said, you should stand up as a man, stand up with courage. You should perform your role as an army commander. If an army commander is weak in his heart, how can he function on the battlefield? That is what Bhagavan said. That is what now he is not able to come to that state. So he is questioning, he is expressing his difficulty. कथं भीष्ममहं सङ्ख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदना यजुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा Madhusudana is the killer of Madhu we have seen before. Next. Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktam bhaikshamapi haloke hatvarthakamanstu gurunihaive bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. He is expanding on this idea further. How can I kill my gurus? Guruna ahatva. Ahatva. Ahatva means having killed. Ahatva, not killing. Not killing my gurus who are mahanubhavas, great souls, very virtuous people, known for their dharma, great adherents of dharma, mahanubhava. Instead of killing them, Shreyo Bhoktam Bhaiksham Api Ihaloke, on this earth, Bhaiksham Bhoktum Shreyaha. Bhaiksha is Bhikshacharana, living on alms, begging for food. That is Bhiksha. That is only sannyasi can do that. Nobody else is supposed to do that. Brahmacharis can do with the permission of the Guru. Brahmacharis can go and ask for Bhiksha with the permission of Guru. Sannyasis, by definition, they have to ask for, beg for alms, Bhaikshyam. Now he says, Bhaikshyam Bhoktum Shreyaha. I can live on Bhikshacharana. I can live on food obtained by begging. That is Shreyaha. That is good for me. Instead of killing these gurus. Hatvartha kamastu guru nihaiva dungiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. If I go and kill them, Hatva, what will happen? Hatva gurun ihaiva. On this very battlefield, if I go and kill my gurus, Arthakaman, Rudhira Pratigdan, Bhogan, Bhunjiya. Bhunjiya means I shall be tasting, I shall be experiencing. What I will experience? Arthakaman, wealth and desire. The two Purusharthas after Dharma. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So Arthakaman, wealth and desires, I will be experiencing, which are enjoyments, Bhogan. I will be enjoying those enjoyments, experiencing those enjoyments of wealth and desire. But what type? Rudhira Pradigdhan. They are wetted in blood. They are wetted, they are immersed in blood. These bhogas, these enjoyments, are immersed in the blood of my gurus. So how can I enjoy? That is this question. So I shall be tasting blood-stained enjoyments after killing my own gurus. Instead of that, It is better that I go and beg for alms, run away from the battlefield. Here there is a very important point that we should note. This is going to come again in Shankara's Bhashya. Shankara has not written Bhashya for the first chapter as well as second chapter up to sloka number 10. That he is covering at the beginning of sloka number 11, he is covering with a long write-up, which we will go through. So there also he is going to say that for a grihastha to adopt the sannyasa dharma is paradharma. Everyone should stick to swadharma. That is why we said varna and ashrama. Everyone should stick to his varna dharma, his ashrama dharma. Being a grihastha, being a kshatriya, he has got his own swadharma. He cannot run away from the battlefield and become a sannyasi. Like a sannyasi, ask for alms. Any kshatriya will go and ask for alms. He will prefer to lose his life rather than asking for alms. So he says, Bhakshamapi okay. So that is something which is totally wrong on his part. It shows that he wants to run away from the battlefield, not doing his duty, simply because he doesn't want to kill his own gurus. Now, according to him, destruction of Bhishma and Drona, that is why he said Guruna Ahatva. It's a great sin because they are Mahanubhava. It's a great loss for Dharma. It is a great loss for mankind. That is what he thinks. That is why, even if I have to abandon my duty, doesn't matter. I will at least not commit this crime of killing my own gurus because they are needed for establishing Dharma. So he says, I will go and adopt Bhikshacharana, which is meant for sannyasis only. So that is what he says. Next. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktam bhaikshamapiha loke hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhungiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. Rudhira means blood. Rudhira pradigdhan, stained with blood. न च एतद्विद्मः कतरं नो वरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. Okay, even if I engage in battle, with these gurus, are we going to win or are they going to win? We don't know. That's what he's saying. Na cha etat vidmaha, we don't know. Katarana, which one? Which one is going to happen? We don't know. Kataranno gariyo, which one is going to be better for us? Which one is going to be better for us? Kataran naha gariyaha, which one is better for us? Etat na vidmaha, we don't know. We don't know which is going to be better for us. There are two alternatives which may happen. Yadva jayema, either we will win. Yadiva no jayeyuhu, or we will be conquered. Naha jayeyuhu, we will be conquered or we will win. Which one is going to happen? We don't know. Which is going to be good for us? We don't know. Kataranno gariyaha, which is going to be better for us? We don't know. Yane vahatva na jijivishamaha te avasthitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Yane vahatva, by killing whom na jijivishamaha, we will not like to stay alive. Look at the way he is constructing his thought. By killing whom we will not like to live any further. Those kinds of people, they avasthitaha, they are standing in front of me, pramukhe, dhartarashtraha, Dhritarashtra's sons, are standing in front of me. By killing them, I would not like to stay alive after killing them. This is the question. That means, if I win and if they get killed, I would not want to live. If I get killed, that also is not good for us. Why should I get killed? So, nachayatat vidmaha, which is good for us. Whether I should get killed or whether I should kill. We don't know. No? We don't know what will happen during the war. So, supposing it happens that I go and kill them. After they are killed, why should I live? I don't like to live. That is his point now. This is a typical intellectual confusion based on his emotional upheaval. He has undergone emotional upheaval, which he has expressed in several slokas. Now he has given it different angle to that intellectual, he has given a different intellectual angle to that emotional upheaval, because he is now questioning intellectually. We don't know whether we will win or they will win. It's an intellectual question. And after, if they get killed, I don't want to live again. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः देवस्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. नेक्स्ट. कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Very important shloka in this whole group of shlokas. Most important. Now he has changed his mind. If you remember, he had made up his mind not to fight. And then he advanced a lot of arguments. We have seen all those arguments. He was sure, he had decided that he would not fight. Now, because Bhagavan chided him, Bhagavan ridiculed him also, and Bhagavan asked him to leave aside his weakness of mind, he is now confused. At the same time, he does not want to kill the gurus. This is his dichotomy. Bhagavan says, go and fight. But I don't want to fight my own gurus. So, what should I do? So, what should I do? Question is coming only now. Earlier, that question did not come. Earlier, he was sure he will not fight. So, there was no second alternative. But now there is a second alternative which he is expressing in this shloka. And he is assuming Shishya Bhava for the first time. Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. Tvam Prapannam. I have taken refuge in you. Look at that. That is how you have to approach a guru. You cannot go and dictate terms to your guru. You have to be humble. You have to prostrate. You have to express your humility. You have to say that you have taken refuge. That is very important. That is why he is saying. He is expressing that. Tvam Prapannam. I have taken refuge in you. Te aham shishya, aham te shishya. I am your shishya. I am your disciple. Mam Shadhi. Shadhi means give a proper direction. It comes from the word Shasana. Shasana means control. Shasana is, you might have seen, Maharashtra Shasan, government of Maharashtra. So, that is control, administer, that is Shasan. So, Shadhi means you control me, you guide me, you take control of me. Shadhimam tvam prapannam. What is the problem with me? Karpanya dosho bahata svabhavaha. He himself now is able to find out the defect in himself. Normally, nobody would say, I have this defect. Will anybody say, I have a defect? That too, when you have taken such a stand on the battlefield in front of Krishna, will you say, no, I have doubt with my stand? Will you say that? He's saying that now. Because of the influence of Bhagavan, two slokas he spoke. Those two slokas are having their effect. That is why you should always be in the company of good people. Very important. Otherwise, we may go wrong. Now that we are seeing it in Arjuna's behavior. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha. Svabhavaha, by nature, he is very courageous, great warrior. That is his nature, very bold. Now, Karpanya doshaha. Karpanya is actually Kripana's quality. That is miserliness. Kripana is a miser. Now that is not the meaning here. Here it means miser in respect of the strength of mind. That means very weak. Karpanya dosha is the dosha of the weakness of mind. Faint-heartedness. So that has apahata svabhavaha. That has taken away my nature. He says that. He says, the weakness of my mind has taken away my nature. My nature is now not there. This weakness has come. He himself says that. What Bhagavan was saying, he is now accepting that. Prikhyami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Further, he says, dharma sammudha chetaha. My mind is chetaha. My mind is totally confused with reference to dharma. Whether this is dharma or that is dharma, I am confused. He was not confused earlier. He had taken a very bold decision, I will not fight. And he dropped his Gandiva and he sat on the chariot. But now, after listening to Bhagavan, he has second thoughts. He says, now, there is some merit in what Bhagavan says as a Kshatriya. I have to fight. Now, my mind does not allow me to go and kill Bhishma and Drona. What should I do? This is my problem. Dharma sammudha chetaha. My mind is totally confused as to the choice of the dharma. This is called dharma sankata. There is a conflict of dharmas. This happens to us all the time. This is nothing unusual for us. This happens to all human beings very often. We are faced with not dharma and adharma. That is simple to decide. You go and choose dharma. Between dharma and adharma. We won't choose adharma because we want to enjoy certain conveniences, certain pleasures. That is a different story. That is our weakness. But even then we know that we are on the wrong path. We have abandoned dharma. We know that. We have chosen adharma. But that is not the issue here. The issue is between two dharmas. Both are dharmas. Both are recommended in Dharma Shastras. Now, which dharma I should adopt? Both are conflicting. Don't kill your gurus. Is one dharma. Don't run away from a battlefield. Fight like a good Kshatriya. Is another dharma. Now, what should I do? So, dharma sammudha cheta. I am confused. Tvam prichhami. Therefore, I ask you. What he is asking? He has framed his question very nicely. See how nicely the sloka is built. He first described his own state, that he is suffering from faint-heartedness. Then he says, I am totally confused. I do not know which dharma to choose. Then he says, I am now going to ask you a question. You answer that question. Why you should answer that question? Because I have taken refuge in you. I am your disciple. You have to answer and guide me. What is the question? Yet Shreyasyan Nishkitam Bruhi Tanme. Yat Shreyaha Syat. That which is Shreyas for me. That which is good for me. Nishkitam Tanme Bruhi. Give me a very clear-cut decision on that. Don't say you can do this or you can do that. That is not a Nishkitam. Nishkitam is for certain. For certain. Assured. A sure path. You should Bruhi. Please tell me. That which will give you Tat. Yati Shreyaha Syat Tat. Whichever path will give me Shreyas, that you tell me. That is the question now. That is the request. That is the prayer of the Shishya to the Guru. So here also he is using the word Shreyas as opposed to Preyas. We saw that earlier. Even in the introduction of Shankara Bhashya, Shreyarthibhihi, we saw that. The whole Gita is meant for those who are intent on Shreyas, not Preyas. Preyas is mundane comforts. That for that you don't need Gita. Shreyas is advancement on spiritual path. So he is saying, which is good for me in the long term, that you tell me. If I go and kill Bhishma and Drona, will I not be incurring a great sin for which I will suffer later? If I run away from the battlefield, will I incur a sin for which I will suffer later? Now I am confused. Please tell me. That is his question. कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यां निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नं न हि प्रपश्यामि मामापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत् असपत्नवृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. Though he has said, now he should have stopped there. He has left the decision to Guru, to Krishna, who is the Guru. And he says, tell me, after saying, tell me what is there further to say, because he is not able to control his emotions. His emotions are so strong, though he knows that there is another dharma, which is not running away from the battlefield. But not killing gurus is very painful for him. That decision of killing guru is extremely painful. He is not able to withstand that pain. So he wants to express it once again before closing his talk. So he says, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat yakshogam avapya bhoma vasapatnamriddham rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam avapya bhoma. Even after receiving the entire earth, forget about this little kingdom for which we are now going to fight. Entire earth, even if I get. Asapatna Vruddham, what type of earth? Asapatnam. Asapatnam means without any enemies. Eka Chatra Chakravarti we say, isn't it? Entire earth is under his control. No enemies. Asapatnam, Vruddham. Okay, it is Asapatnam. There are no enemies, but there is no prosperity in that kingdom. Everybody is poor, everybody is suffering. Not like that. Vruddham means Samriddhi. Very prosperous. Very prosperous earth with no enemies. Even if I get Rajyam Suranam Apishadhipatyam. Not only that, not only this kind of earth, even if I get Devaloka, Suranam Rajyam, the Rajya, the kingdom of Devas, that Adhipatyam, that rulership, the rulership of the kingdom of Devas, in addition, Api, in addition to this earth, even if I get, so this is the point he is making. Supposing I become ruler of the entire earth, I also become ruler of Devaloka. I have displaced Devendra, I have become Devaloka, ruler. Even then, nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachhogamuchoshanamindriyanam. This shoka, this grief, yati shokam, uchoshanam indriyanam. What kind of shoka I am going through? All my sense organs have completely dried up. Shoshanam means dried up. Uchoshanam completely dried up. All my mouth is parched, my eyes are blind, my ears have lost their power of hearing, all my nose cannot smell, all my sense organs have lost their power. So they are dried up. Why they are? Because sense organs are all guided by the mind. His mind is confused, he has said already. Dharma sammudha chetaha. So when the mind is confused, what happens to all of us? When you are in a confused state, supposing somebody comes and talks to you, you don't even know who is talking, what he is talking. Afterwards, you are asking, Hey, you said something, what did you say? That is what he is saying now. All my sense organs are completely dried up because of this grief. Shokam. Shokam is the word here. Shokam word is very important now. Shankara is going to comment on this. So, that shoka, that grief, which is parching all my indriyas, mama nahi prapashyami apanudyat. That apanudyat means going away, getting rid of. Getting rid of that grief, which has already dried up my sense organs. Nahi prapashyami, I do not see that happening. I do not see that happening. Even if I get, look at that, even if I get the entire earth with no enemies, very prosperous kingdom, even if I get, in addition, the Devaloka, even if I get all this, the even after getting, mind you, even after becoming a ruler, he is going to suffer from this grief because he has killed Bhishma and Drona. So that grief, which has already dried up all his sense organs, will not leave away, will not go away. That is my situation. Nahi prapashyami, I do not see. Look at the very serious situation in which he is placed and he is also expressing that. Look at the difficulty for Krishna. If you are in the position of Krishna, what will you do? Very difficult situation. He is expressing that very clearly. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat yakshokam avapya bhuma vasapatra mridham rajyam suranam apitadhipatyam Sanjaya uvacha evamuktva hrishikesham gudakesha parantapaha nayotsayati govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. Gudakesha parantapa is printed here. There is a small mistake. Parantapaha. Visarga is required. Because when you say Parantapa, it is an address. When you say Parantapaha, it is a noun. It is a description. Eva Muktva Hrishikesham Gudakeshaha Parantapaha. Parantapaha is here a noun which is an adjective of Gudakesha. Gudakesha, we have seen, is the name of Arjuna. He has conquered sleep. He is the master of Gudaka, which is sleep. And he, what kind of person? He is a scorcher of enemies, such a warrior. Evamukta Hrishikesham, having told Hrishikesha like this. Hrishikesha is Krishna, we have seen before. The Ishvara of sense organs. All sense organs are under his control. Nayotsayati Govindam Uttva Tushnim Bhagavaha. Hrishikesham Govindam. Two names are given here. Hrishikesham Govindam Evam Uttva. Having said whatever was said in the previous shloka, finally he says further, Na yotsayati uktva, I will not fight. First he said, I don't know what should I do, I am your shishya and all that. So look at the contrast in the way he is presenting. Such a confusion, such a terrible situation. Na yotsayati uktva, I will not fight. Then he, tushnim babhuvaha, he became quiet. He became quiet after saying, I will not fight. This is where we are now. Now, when Sanjaya is reporting this, he says, one, he is describing as Rishikesha and Govinda, and the other opposite party he is describing as Gudakesha. That shows when there is a combination of Gudakesha and Rishikesha and Govinda, how do you expect that party to fail in the war? That is the indirect indication which scholars have made of this reference. Otherwise, there was no need to give such kind of names here. Sanjaya is indicating to Dhritarashtra, when this kind of combination is there on Pandava's side, how do you expect Kauravas to win? Though this confusion is there, no doubt, all this confusion will disappear in no time. Because Rishikesha is there. एवमुक्त्वा हृषीकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः नयोत्सयति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः. Now Bhagavan is going to speak. Entire Gita starts from sloka number 11 only. Previously two slokas are there, a kind of introduction to what he is going to say. Okay. A kind of preliminary chiding of Arjuna, but now the expansion is coming. Tam Hrishikesha uvacha. Hrishikesha spoke to him. How? Prahasanna eva. Smiling. This prahasanna has got two meanings. One is smiling as well as ridiculing, mocking. Prahasanna has got both meanings. So here he is smiling. Not smiling and see, smile has got several meanings, isn't it? You can smile in appreciation. When a young man passes an examination with distinction, you smile and say, ha, you have done well. That is appreciation. Here it is not appreciation. Here he is mocking. He is ridiculing. There also he is smiling. Arey, what kind of warrior you are. So, Prahadan Niva Bharata, he says, Hey Bharata, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Vishidantamidam Vachaha. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, in the middle of the two armies, Vishidantam, Tam Vacha is there, no? Vishidantam is for the Tam, that Arjuna, who was immersed in grief. Vishidantam. Idam Vachaha Uvacha. These words he spoke. Now, Bharata is an address to Dhritarashtra, because Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra, the Bharata, because Bhagavan has not started speaking. That is only from the next shloka. So here Bharata is addressed to Dhritarashtra, who is coming in the family, in the lineage of Bharata. So Bharata. So he is saying, smiling, Rishikesha, with a mark in the smile, he addressed Arjuna, who was immersed in grief, in the middle of the two senas, two armies. Now, at this point, before Bhagavan starts his treatise on Gita, there is a very long passage written by Adi Shankara, because he has not written anything up to this shloka. So we will go through that briefly. We will not go through everything, not necessary, and it is very tough for all of us. So we will go through the important salient points of what he is saying. He is building up what Bhagavan is going to say in the future slokas, and he is giving his own reasoning. That is very important. His reasoning is very important. Shankara is giving tremendous amount of reasoning for what Bhagavan is going to teach. So, since all of us know what he is going to teach, at least to some extent, it is not difficult for us to follow the line of reasoning of Shankara. So, he has gone into great depth here. What he is saying is, in Shloka 1.2 to 2.9, Shloka 1.2 to 2.9, it is completely Arjuna, except those two shlokas in between. It is Arjuna's veil. Now he is describing that Arjuna's veil with this words, very beautiful description. What he is saying is, Praninam Shoka Mohadi Samsara Bija Bhuta Dosha Udbhava Karana Pradarshanaarthatvena Vyakheyaha. Whatever he said, whatever he veiled is because of Shoka and Moha. Shoka and Moha are the two ingredients of our coming back to samsara again and again. Samsara bija bhuta. Shoka is grief. Moha is delusion, confusion. Now both are there in him. He is deluded, he is having grief. In fact, this is the trouble with all of us, not only Arjuna. That is why he said samsara bija bhuta. It is the cause for our samsara. Because we grieve for unnecessary things, we get confused when we should choose the proper path of action. Shoka mohadi samsara bija bhuta dosha, those two doshas, udbhava karana pradarshanaarthatvena. Why this shoka and moha came over Arjuna, he has explained. That's what he is saying. Now further, Shankara is explaining the shoka and moha in his own way. Now what he is saying, why the shoka and moha came? Because he thought this Bhishma, he is saying all this in beautiful Sanskrit prose. In this Bhishma, this Drona who are standing in front of me, they are mine. Aham yesham mama yete. They are mine and I am theirs. This is the trouble with all of us. We assume relationships without any context. Here the context is totally different. And he is assuming that relationship. Yes, that relationship was correct, Guru and Shishya, etc., etc. In a different context, but not in this context. So, this aham yesham mamayete, that understanding, that concept has led to shoka moha. The shoka and moha. Arjuna's fear is based on his fear of killing them, his fear of separating from them, because they are mine, they are my people. How can I kill them? That is shoka and moha. And in fact, it has gone to such an extent that he is prepared to take up paradharma, bhiksha jivanadikam paradharmam. These are words of Shankara. Bhiksha jivanadikam paradharmam. To live on alms, to live on food obtained through begging, that is bhiksha jivan. That is paradharmam. That is for a sannyasi. He is prepared to even to accept that. Now he is giving general statement here. Generalizing this, what happened to Arjuna will happen to all of us. He is explaining it nicely. He says, the shoka and moha, grief and delusion, happen because under two circumstances. Shankara says, one is Swadharma Parityagaha Prachisiddha Seva. That is, you abandon your Swadharma, you take up some other dharma. Pratishidha Seva. Uh, what has been denied to you, that you go and take up. What you should do, that you leave aside, abandon. Swadharma Parityagaha Prachisiddha Seva. Because of that, the shoka and moha happen. Okay. No, I have not done that. I am very much in my Swadharma. Then he is going further. Swadharma Pravrittanam api. Even those who are very much in their Swadharma, there are problems of shoka and moha. Why? Sahankara phalabhisandhi purvika dharma adharma upachayat samsara. Because sahankara, they do it with ahankara, with a sense of ego. That is the subject of Karma Yoga, which is going to come in this chapter. As I said, Shankara is taking us through the entire Gita in his own way, in a summary here. And he's going into great depth here in this. Several paragraphs he has written here. Sahankara, because of the ego, when he is performing his Swadharma only, because of the ego, he gets into Shoka and Moha. That is what is happening now with Arjuna. That is what is happening to all of us. Not only that, Phalabhisandhi Purvika, we expect the fruit. There are two problems. One is thinking that I am the doer of this karma. We should not think. We should say that I am only an instrument Bhagavan is doing. That is the first mistake. Second mistake is when Bhagavan is the doer and I am only an agent, there is no question of expecting a fruit, because the fruit belongs to the owner, not to the agent, not to the instrument. If I write something with a pen, this is a common example given by scholars. If I write something with a pen cannot say, expect the fruit, isn't it? Pen is only an instrument in my hand. I am the author of what I am writing. I should get the fruit. Pen cannot compete with me and ask for the fruit. That is the problem. So he says, Phalabhi Sandhi Purvika, Sahankara. These are the two problems. The ego of ascribing all activity to myself, to my small personality, instead of the all-pervading Bhagavan, then expecting the fruit thereof. Because of this, adharma accumulates, even when you are in Swadharma. Dharma, adharma, upachayat, samsaraha. Because of that accumulation of adharma, you are coming back to samsara again and again. Very subtle, very beautifully presented by Shankara. Though you are doing Swadharma, very much within the borders of Swadharma, because of these two issues, you have accumulated adharma, and so you have landed back in samsara again and again. That is why we are coming back to the Shoka Moho Samsara Bija Bhutau. He is repeating it. So earlier also he said, Shoka and Moha, grief and delusion, are the seeds of samsara. For this, what is the solution? The problem is this. Problem has been presented. What is the solution? He is saying that Sarva karma sanyasa purvakat atmajnanat nanyataha nivrittihi. There is no getting away from this problem other than getting atmajnana. And atmajnana should be preceded by sarva karma sanyasa, dropping all karmas. Now, if you have gone through sadhana panchakam or sopana panchakam, which is the last of the Upadeshas of Shankara, there this thought has been very beautifully, very succinctly brought out by. He starts with your swadharma. He says, Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma swanushthiyatam. You should recite Veda every day, and whatever is there in the Veda, that karma you do. Swanushthiyatam. Do it properly. That is at the beginning. Later on, what does he say? He says, get out of the home when the time is appropriate. Get out of the home. Go to the forest. Develop Viveka and Vairagya. Approach a guru. Submit yourself to that Guru. Submit yourself to Paramatma. Don't hang on with your small ego. All this he says in those 5 steps. He is saying all this. So that is same thing he is bringing out here. How will you do this unless you have Atma Jnana? What is Atma and what am I? That is Atma Jnana. Unless I know that, I cannot get away from this problem. And for knowing that properly, I have to drop all karmas. Sarva karma sannyasa purvaka. Having dropped all my karma, why I should drop my karma? He is going to say that later on. Because that is what Bhagavan has said. Upanishads have said that both cannot go together. Doing my karma and following the path of jnana cannot go together. That can go together only at the beginning. They cannot go together after a certain stage. If you want moksha, you have to drop the karma at some stage and prepare yourself for jnana, atma jnana. You may not have attained atma jnana, but even preparing yourself, you have to drop your karma. But don't drop on your own. That will be a great sin. Karmas will drop on their own once you have developed jnana. That also he is saying. Now, who is saying all this? Bhagavan has said in the same Gita it is coming. Upanishads have said. That is what he is saying. Now, here we should remember one thing. Why he is saying all this? Why Shankara is saying all this at this stage? Shankara's main activity was fighting 72 durmatas, 72 matas, philosophies, which were opposed to Vedic philosophy. We have seen that in Shankara Vijay. There were 72 such. And he fought all of them. He established Advaita Vedanta. So, in that context, one of the very powerful adversary was Purva Mimamsakas. We have seen there are 6 darshanas. The closest to our Advaita Vedanta was Purva Mimamsa. That is why it's called Purva Mimamsa and Advaita Vedanta is called Uttara Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa says, you do the karmas, all this has been explained in great detail by Shankara here only. I am summarizing briefly. Now, Purva Mimamsa says that you do all the karmas specified for you, for your varna and for your ashrama in the Vedas. If you have been asked to do Agnihotra, if you have been asked to, all this is said here, yagas, etc., you should perform. Agnihotra, etc., should be performed till your last breath. So says the Veda. There are statements in Veda. If you are going to perform Agnihotra till the last breath, yaga till the last breath, how can you drop the karma and become eligible for moksha? That question will come, isn't it? So the Purva Mimamsa people said, in answer to that question, there is no question of dropping the karma. You continue to perform those karmas. Those karmas themselves will give you moksha. This was their philosophy, which was totally wrong, totally against the spirit of our Upanishads. So Shankara has established that what you say is correct only up to some extent. Afterwards, you have to drop those karmas. That is what is given in the Upanishads. Now, he refuted the Purva Mimamsa theory of mixing jnana with karma. Do karma. The emphasis was on karma. Mix with jnana because you must develop jnana. You must know what is Atma, what is Anatma, what is body, what is Atma, what is Paramatma. All that you should know. That jnana you should have. But don't drop your karma. This was their philosophy, which he refuted, he fought with them. So, mixing jnana karma samuchaya, this phrase you will find frequently in Shankara's Bhashya. The combination of jnana and karma is something which he is totally opposed. He has made it very clear. He says repeatedly, nobody can show me in the text of Bhagavad Gita that you should combine jnana and karma for moksha. In fact, jnana devahi kaivalyam. Only through jnana you will get moksha. This has been made very clear. So, the point now being made is Atma Jnana is important. If you remember in the stories connected with Shiva, we have a story connected with Darukavan, Bhikshatana. As Bhikshatana, he took Vishnu also as Mohini, he went to Darukavan because he wanted to teach this, what we have now discussed. He wanted to teach this to the rishis there because all those rishis were karmakandis, like these Purumimamsakas. They were busy with their yajnas. They said, no, we are satisfied with what we are doing. That will give us moksha. Without any bhakti, without any jnana. Bhakti and jnana have to go together along with karma. They didn't do that. But Shiva wanted to teach them a lesson. So he went there, Bhikshatana, we will not go into the story. Finally, at the end of that story, Shiva taught them Atmajnana. Then they realized that their philosophy was wrong because they were following this Purvamimamsa philosophy. That is where Shiva danced as Nataraja in front of them. Nataraja Darshana is what gave them jnana. And Vishnu as Mohini accompanied him as a part of that Leela. So that same principle is coming up here for discussion. Same. Now there are a lot of arguments and counter arguments which technical, which Shankara is making here. Now, why they should not be combined? This Sankhya and Yoga. Sankhya is Jnana, Yoga is Karma, according to the definition here in this chapter, in this context. Why they should not be combined? There are people who say, they are quoting from different contexts, their objections he is taking up, and then he is answering that, saying that, Array, Veda itself says clearly, Bhagavan is going to say in third chapter, first issue, that I have got two classes of people. Some are fit for Sankhya, some are fit for Yoga. He never said, those who are fit for Sankhya should also do Yoga. Those who are fit for Yoga should also do Sankhya. He never said that. Two different classes of people are there. One is fit, eligible for Sankhya. Another is eligible for Yoga. So that is one question he is answering in great depth. Second is a little more subtle. There he says, well, there are people who are karma yogis, karma being done with a sense of sacrifice, with a sense of yoga. Like he said, na, Phalabhisandhi purvika ahankara. Not like that. Without ahankara, without phalabhisandhi, there are people who are karma yogis. They have attained jnana. They are same as sankhyas in their mental makeup. But still they are doing karmas. What do you talk about them? That is another question, which he is answering. Yes, there are some people, but that is, they have gone through this karma path, they have attained jnana, they don't want to drop karma. It is their choice. They can drop karma because they want to help the world. They want to stand as good examples, like Krishna himself. Krishna himself, why should Krishna do any karma? Why should he take avatara? Is it necessary for him? It is only for helping the world. Loka Sangraha. So similarly, these jnanis, because they have attained Atma Jnana, they are same pedestal as Bhagavan. So they think if Bhagavan is going to take avatara and go through a human birth, human life for Loka Sangraha, why should I not do that? So he says those karmas I should also do. Some people are there, like Janaka, for example. Bhagavan is going to quote Janaka in this context. All these coming up later on, but Shankara is drawing our attention to that as an introduction here at this stage itself. So he says, they are okay. For them, that is okay. Don't take that as an example. For normal people, there are some people who are mentally, like we saw at the beginning, at the introduction. There is a group of Mariki type Prajapatis. There is a group, Sanaka Sanandana type. Sanaka Sanandana type are Sankhyas, Jnanis. They will not do any karma. They cannot bring themselves to do any karma. Whereas Mariki type Prajapatis are basically fit for only karma. They will attain jnana by doing karma, by following the path of karma yoga, by taking up chitta shuddhi, etc. That we will discuss later on. So this distinction is emphasizing very clearly here. And in this context, he is putting it very nicely. He says, Sarva karma sannyasa purvakat atma jnanat nanyataha nivrittihi, he said. There is no getting away from this problem other than atma jnana. Then, Sarva lokanugrahartham arjunam nimitti kritye bhagavan vasudevaha aha. Sarva loka anugrahartham, for blessing the entire humanity, Arjunam nimitti kritya, using Arjuna as a tool, he wanted to help all of us. So Bhagavan Vasudeva said all these things, whatever he is going to say now. So that is how he says. Now, when he said, the Upanishads are saying now that you cannot combine this, etc., he is quoting from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, from Sasamata Brahmana, etc., etc. He is quoting to substantiate his argument. So, after this long introduction, Bhagavan is going to speak from sloka number 11, which we will take up tomorrow. The time is up. But this long introduction is not a waste. It will be useful for us as we go along. All these points are going to come up again during our discussion, but it lays a ground for all this. That is what Shankara himself has done. So we will meet again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. IST, Sunday, 7:30 a.m. IST. Any questions so far?
Anyone has any doubts? Anyone has any doubts?
Shri Guru Bhyanama, Swami, Kannan Swami, I have a question. So, in what time do we see Krishna taking over and giving the Arjuna Vishad Yoga shall end from now on?
Your question is not clear. Can you repeat?
Yes, Kannan sir, I have a question. So right now we are in the second adhyaya or third adhyaya exactly? Because last 2 weeks I missed a little bit.
We are in second adhyaya, sloka number 11. We are going to start.
Okay. And Vishad, so we are still with this Arjuna. It seems like we are still with the Arjuna Vishad Yoga, and Krishna is still trying to convince.
Vishad Yoga is completed.
Vishad Yoga is completed. So right now we are out of it. Okay, no problem. Hare Krishna.
Namaskaram. I have a question. Yeah. In Shankara's introduction, you are telling that we have to drop karma and only with jnana one can reach moksha. But in Bhagavad Gita, there is a karma yoga chapter itself has been said in this one, has to do karma.
Well, this is a confusion which will happen. That is what I said. There are two different types of people. For some people, karma is a must. They cannot drop their karma. That's why Janaka was quoted as an example by Bhagavan himself. So they will keep doing karma even after getting jnana. But jnana is the target. That is what Shankara is explaining. Target is jnana, target is not karma. Karma is a path. So if you are satisfied with the path and still you have reached jnana, very good, continue in that path. You will continue to do the karmas. But that is not recommended. That is not recommended. Sannyasi is a higher, even in our normal life, the sannyasi is not a higher person than grihastha. Grihastha is a karmi. The sannyasi is a non-karmi. He has dropped all karma. There is no karma prescribed for sannyasi. No karma at all. He is there only for meditation. That is jnana marga. Meditation is jnana marga. He will not bother about anything. He will not bother about his own body. He is not bothered about how to get food. If somebody gives him food, he will take. Otherwise, he will not bother. That is sannyasi. So, this is the distinction between the two. So, it's not a question of decrying one and supporting another. One is definitely superior. That is what Shankara himself says. He is using the word sannyasi for those who are following the jnana marga, sankhya marga. He is using the word sannyasi. So, we should understand he is talking about sannyasi. Why should there be sannyasis? If all are karma yogis, according to you, sannyasi should not be there. There is no need for sannyasa ashrama. Sannyasa ashrama is needed for concentration on Paramatma. Not everybody is capable of that. So naturally, you have to drop the karma. You cannot have a distraction of karma for concentrating on karma. That is the stand of the sannyasi. But you have to reach that level. You cannot say, I will become a sannyasi tomorrow, I will drop all my karmas today. You can't do that. Because mental makeup has to be in support of that. That's the answer to your question. It's a little difficult. You have to think over it again and again. We will discuss this again later.
So grahasthas have to do karma and go towards the jnana marga and try
Exactly.
to.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Mama, can we say that's a eligibility to go towards Jnana Marga, like doing our dharma, whatever karma we have gained in all previous births.
That is going to be all that is going to be discussed in detail in this
Okay,
chapter.
Okay, ma'am.
All this is going to be discussed in detail in this chapter and the next chapter. Next chapter is entirely karma yoga only. So all this will happen again. So we will discuss again.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Any
Mama, can you tell me the meaning of the shadi? I forgot it.
Shadi means you take control of me. You guide me.
Okay, thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Any
Namaste.
other questions?
Yeah, you said there are two kinds of people. One is Sankhya, the other one, Sankhya means sannyasi, and the other one is karma yogi, is it?
Yeah, correct. Sankhya and yoga are the two terms he is using here in this context. For jnana and karma, he is using the term Sankhya and yoga.
Sankhya means one who is a sannyasi.
Sankhya is a sannyasi who does not care for karma. Karma is one who does only karmas and gradually attains jnana.
Okay, thank you.
So we close for the day. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Rajarajeshwariyai Jaya Jaya.
We will meet again tomorrow.